Alright, so it's been over a month since I started using this Oraimo hotspot device, and one of the reasons why I did not feel the need to even review it is because this is not a new device. I'm sure most of you must have heard everything you need to know about it, but I promised to make a review about the device, so well, let's do it. Alright, so I'm going to start with the design. So when I did the unboxing videos, one of the first thing I said was this thing is going to be a fingerprint magnet. Well, I wasn't wrong, and it's not just a fingerprint magnet, it is also not safe from scratches, and that is expected because this device is made out of plastic. I'm not sure if the front is made out of glass, but it is mostly plastic for me. There is no screen on the device. There's only this one round button over here that acts as the power button. It is what you use to turn the device on or off. And there are some icons next to it that will show you the status of the device. I've made a YouTube short explaining how the icons work. You can't interact with them. They only tell you what's like the status of the device. On the side, you have this button that I honestly have never used, so I'm not going to go into that. And then there's a micro USB port which you use for charging the device. I've heard that you can also connect it to your computer, but I've not tried that either. I just use it as a hotspot device. I don't see the point of having to use this as a storage device. But the thing is that, yeah, if you open the back, you'll see a space for a micro SD card, not USB card, and your SIM card. So I've not tried a micro SD card on this device, so I can't say anything about that either. But I've tried different networks with it. So it works with MTN, Airtel, Glo, 9 Mobile. Those are the ones that I've tried anyways. If you have other networks, like I think there's Smart, I'm not sure about it, but if you try it, it may work. But the ones that I've tried are the ones that I'm talking about. And the SIM cards that work have to be either micro SIM cards or nano SIM cards. With the nano SIM cards, you can adjust it in a way that if you do it properly, you'll be able to use it with the hotspot device. There's not much to say about the design on the hotspot device. It's just the icons in the front here. They will change colors to tell you the status of the hotspot device. So even though there's not much to say about the design, when it comes to the connectivity and functionality, that's where there's a lot to say. And yeah, just get yourself settled down because, like I said, there's a lot to say about this. Now, obviously, this device is used for creating a hotspot so that other devices can connect to it via their Wi-Fi. You can connect things like your phones, your laptops, and even your smart TV via Wi-Fi to the device so that those devices can have internet access. I've used something similar to it. This one is what I got from AliExpress. It's a bit dusty. I got this one from AliExpress, and it's basically the same thing. You just create a hotspot with it, and other devices can have internet access. If you want to watch the review of this one, I'll leave it linked in the description. So as I've said, I've tested it with multiple SIM cards, and well, when it comes to connection and creating the hotspot, this device works perfectly well. There's not much to even say about it concerning creating the hotspot and giving you internet access. You won't have any issues with that. The only thing I'll say is that when you compare the internet speed to your phone, it's not the same. So I did a test on the internet speed, which I'm going to play for you guys to see, so that you can see how fast or slow it is compared to a phone. Okay, so this is the Oraimo hotspot interface. I have the device right here and it's connected to my phone. If you see down here, the name of the network name is SO. And if I check my Wi-Fi connected, is SO. SO means Shaibu Oraimo. That's just the one that came to my head when I created the hotspot. Anyway, so I want to test how fast it is using my MTN network. MTN is the only network that works where I stay, where I live. It is the fastest network anyways, and I am currently in 4G, which is LTE. So I've opened the tab to test my connection speed. Okay, so it's going to start running now to see how fast this thing is, and already we are getting up to 17 megabits per second. This is not megabytes, it's megabits per second. So I don't know how to convert it yet, but my phone is showing 900. Okay, it's now up to 3.3 megabytes per second. So I'm going to let it run so you guys can see how fast it is. Alright, so I'm getting up to 18 megabits per second. I don't know if it also records uploads. Okay, it is currently doing the upload speed and it is getting to, I think I saw 20 megabits per second. Okay, so it is done. Upload speed is around 13 megabits per second and the download speed is 18 megabits per second. Now, obviously, you can't judge the hotspot device by the speed that I'm getting because network speed depends on your area. So like I said, in my area, MTN is the only good network, and it's not like it is fast as where I used to live. So I want to say that this thing can go even faster, but this is the speed that I'm getting. So yeah, if it's good enough for you, then that'll be fine. So from my test, the hotspot device can go up to 3.5 megabytes per second, not megabits, megabytes. And my phone, on a good day, it can do up to 8 megabytes per second. So from that result, it is obvious that this one cannot outperform the average phone in terms of internet speed. But the good thing is that when you have your phone connected to this via the Wi-Fi, well, you are going to save battery life on your phone. And also, if people call you, sometimes when people call you and you're browsing, the call is going to interrupt your internet connection. So with this one, you won't have that kind of interruption anymore. If you're downloading stuff and you receive a phone call, well, because your phone is connected via Wi-Fi, it's not going to be interrupted. So you'll be making your phone call while your browser or your downloader will be downloading whatever it is you're downloading. So to me, it is still a plus to have something like this so that you can always have uninterrupted internet connection. But there are other things that I want to talk about that I think you guys will find interesting about this device specifically. Because like I said, I've used this one in the past. They are similar, but this one has a lot of features that I really find interesting. So let's start with the first one. Okay, so one of the features of this hotspot device that I really like is the ability to create 2 hotspot profiles. So let's say you always have people coming over to your place and they always want to have the password to your Wi-Fi connection. Well, you can create 2 profiles. One will be for you and the other will be for anyone that comes around. So what you can do with the second profile is you can either set a time limit or you can set a data limit. So let's say if you want the hotspot to automatically turn off once it gets to maybe 1 megabyte, not 1 megabyte, 1 gig, then it's going to do that. You'll be able to set it that way. Or if you want it to automatically disconnect when the person has used it for maybe up to an hour, you can also set it that way. That is something I really like about this hotspot device. So the way to set this up is by using either the website or there's an app that's called the TransLink app, but I'll strongly recommend you use the website instead. That is what I normally use because the app has some limitations. So yeah, just use the website. Don't even bother yourself too much about the app unless you want to do something quickly. Alright, so besides just creating multiple hotspot profiles, you can also do things like create firewalls. This way you can set some websites that as long as the person is connected or as long as you are connected to this hotspot device, you will not be able to access those websites. So I tried it with TikTok and it worked. I was not able to access TikTok. I don't even like that platform anyways. And then I tried it with Google, but it didn't work. I think like Google is too powerful at this point. So besides just that, you can do other things like send text messages. Well, when you want to send text messages, you have to switch to 3G. If you set it to 4G, it's not going to work. I don't know why. I don't even know if you can receive text messages if this is set to 4G. So if you want to send text messages, just switch it to 3G. After you're done, you can change it back to 4G so you can have fast internet. You can also do things like dial USSD codes so that you can check things like your airtime or data balance. And there are so many other things you can do. When you get the device, you can just play around with it and you'll find so many other things, which I cannot get into in this video because it's going to be too long. But just know that in terms of functionality and connections, yeah, connection is good and there are lots of features you will get with this hotspot device. Battery life is the only aspect of this hotspot device that I find horrible. If you live somewhere where electricity is not stable, well, you will not enjoy using this device. On the website, you'll see that it says it comes with a 3000 milliamp hour battery, but until you open the back, you see that it is actually 2920. Even though the difference is not that much, the performance is still horrible for me. I've been using it for over a month now, and after multiple tests, this device can only go up to 5 hours. I would have thought that it is normal for devices like this to only last for 5 hours. But if I had not used this one, it's currently connected. If I had not used this one, I wouldn't have known that this one has poor performance when it comes to battery life. This one can last up to 14 hours with just one charge. But this one, 5 hours. So if you are living somewhere where electricity is bad, then I would not recommend you get this device because you're always going to be in panic mode Now, there are some settings that they put on the interface when you visit the website, which I'll link in the description as well. If you connect to the hotspot and you go to the website, you'll see some options that are like medium battery performance, best battery performance. I tried all of them. To me, it did not work. So it's either I got one that has terrible battery, or it is just very bad when it comes to battery life. The only good thing I'll say is that as long as you leave it connected, like via the USB port and to maybe a charger, even if the device dies and the light comes back, as soon as it starts to charge, then it's going to come on its own. You don't have to come and press the power button to turn it on. So that's something I like about it. So yeah, if maybe you be in another room when the light comes, you don't have to start walking over to the room where it is to turn it on. You just have to wait for it to power on its own, and you can have internet access again. So yeah, I think that's a plus, the way they made it. But besides that, that's basically all I have to say about this device. Like I said, this is not a new device, so the way I'm making this video is just maybe give you some new information if you haven't had it yet. If you have had something new from this review, please let me know in the comments, and if you want to get the device for yourself, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you found the video helpful, and yeah, I'll be seeing you in the next video. Take care and bye bye.